Hey, Normal Heights, we're already here in April. It's like I feel like the spring season's already kicking the corner. Interesting stats. There's actually 2 in the 5 that I'm going to drop in this video. You got to wait till the end. That's the thing, right? I think so.
I think there's a fast forward button.
There might be. If you want to put us on 1.5 or 2, that's cool too. But 2 that I expected and 2 that I'm shocked at. And you're going to want to know them as well.
Yeah, and from a financing perspective, I want to talk about ADUs. People are very popular right now, but there's some really important do's and don'ts that are coming up.
There's some do's and don'ts.
Oh, boy.
Woo! Yeah, inventory gang surging right now. So we're up 27.5. I got them right here, so I don't, because I'm,
Good idea.
Short term. 27.5. There's no way I committed that to short term in detached homes, and 47.1 in inventory of attached homes. Now, lest you think that that's the only narrative, prices are still going up.
It's crazy.
Can somebody explain this to me? I mean, I get it. Like, we're landlocked. We got Pendleton to the north. We got the rocky boulders and the granite flats to the east. And then, of course, we got Mexico. And then we got the water. I understand the metrics, right? We've been doing this for a minute. But at what point are the rates, and actually I'm excited to hear we get a little respite on the rates, right? So that's cool coming up there. Another little bury the lead. But there's, like, how are the prices still creeping up?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Like, how is that up, dude? So price is up 5.9% right now, year over year. And that's on detached, and then attached right behind it at 3.1. And yet, homes are taking longer to sell.
Yeah.
So inventory's up. The price adjustments are up, meaning, that we're chasing the market. Days on market is up, but yet still, we're making money.
Yeah. Do you find that sometimes a homeowner will lock in a value that they've heard, or at one point it was, and that's it? So, like, they might say, hey, I looked my home up last year on Zillow and it was 1.3.
Oh,
like,
and that's
so it's definitely 1.3 or it's not going to go low.
But that's fair. But at the end of the day, a buyer still has to come, make a market, pull out their checkbook, stroke a check in order to become real.
Hence the longer times on market.
Otherwise, it's a fugazi.
Right.
So all of the days on market price adjustments and inventory make sense. The price going up thing.
Yeah. Well, there's a number of things that could be happening there, and these are all just kind of gut speculation stuff, not data driven. But think about, like, maybe someone who had been sitting on a real gem for a while, like if they just didn't want to let that home go because it's really nice.
Yeah.
And they went through this market, higher interest rates, they didn't want to move, and now they've waited as long as they possibly could. And now they're like, okay, I got to get rid of this place. And so maybe some of those homes are actually maybe the more desirable homes that people are trying to ride out for a little bit longer. And those are actually commanding a little bit more money.
Heard a fantastic stat on Altos Research, which is one of the juggernauts of all of the data for real estate industry. And they predicted that there's a magic number of rates. And they predicted that between 6.25% and 6%. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because at 6.5, which is kind of about where we're at right now, it's on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But if you drop down to 6.25 to 6, they're basically saying all hell is going to break loose.
Yeah, and we're seeing that too on the pre-approval side. Folks are coming in now and saying, okay, I've been waiting, but I'm ready to get in. And I think it's because we're creeping to those tolerance levels.
Yeah.
All of my past clients who want to refinance, they're waiting for that low 6 margin too. So these are the magic numbers for a lot of people.
So we got more homes. We got homes taking longer to sell, and we have pickier buyers.
Yeah.
So the big question is, what's all that going to mean for our spring and summer season?
And so one thing we're seeing in Normal Heights is a lot of folks are being attracted to the ADUs.
Yes.
Right? So how do you get around high home pricing? Start moving more families in, make income generating stuff. And what's happening though is I think there's kind of a Wild West thing going on where folks don't necessarily want to permit their ADU. Right? They're going to turn the pool house into a living space. They're going to turn the garage into a living space, and they don't get the proper permits and checkoffs. Now, you can do that, and you can move someone in.
Yeah.
And then you can make money.
Yep.
But what happens down the road? And
That's
so
right.
we're seeing this now on the sales, and I'm sure you're seeing some of this on the real estate side too, but lenders in particular are looking at these unpermitted spaces and saying, is that cool or not?
Right.
And I'll give you an example. We had one that was in a garage and it wasn't really finished and it was kind of a mess. And the lender literally was like, yeah, we'll do that loan, but you have to take that kitchen out.
Yeah. I've had it happen before.
And now, so that's a big waste of money.
Yep.
It's challenging in the sales process. So
The buyer wants the kitchen in there.
right.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it in there
Right.
except the county and the lender.
Right.
So one thing to be careful of is how much do you invest in this front end to make this work? And especially communities like Normal Heights, where you've got older homes, you might have a little space because you've got a little bit of a yard,
Yep.
and you can pop that thing out there. Consider what the shortcut might actually cost you down the road. And you might still make the decision, hey, I'm just going to put this damn thing in and rent it out. That's cool. But if you do it right, that might serve you way better down the road.
It's not even a fair fight. And the other thing that no one wants to talk about is like you might be super cool with all your neighbors. You know, you might come over, drink beers, you know, you might watch the game together.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your neighbor moves and you're like, oh crap. All right, John and Susie are moving. Oh, okay. And then, Ron and Sue come in, and Ron and Sue don't like that you have an unpermitted, and there's a anonymous phone call
Yeah.
into the county.
Too
And
many
then-
cars parking
Yeah.
on the
Next
street.
thing you know, it's
and-
this.
Yep.
And next thing you know, that's problems.
Right, which can be way more expensive. So the
Yep.
concept is know what you're getting into. Some people are still going to do it the old-fashioned way, which
Yep.
is yourself, and
Yep.
don't tell anyone. But know that that's going to have some expenses, and especially in the financing side.
And the last thing, gang, if you were waiting for a crash in the real estate market, if you're waiting for another 2000, I don't know what, 8, 9, whatever the heck it was, right? The great adjustment. The gang over at Alto said, have fun with that. Because there are no, and I shouldn't say no, because there's no such thing as a 0 or 100, but
Right.
highly improbable based on their data that is actually going to happen. I mean, barring any cataclysmic, unforeseen right now economic event, which can always be the case.
Sure.
And so we're just moving into a market right now that's going to be very interesting. So the question is, do you believe that your tomorrow is better than your today? And the folks at Alto say we might actually be heading for a drop in prices coming up. Okay. Now, if you're a seller, you want to be in the front of that. You don't want to leave any money just because you didn't time it right. But if you're a buyer and you're hearing that, you're like, oh, cool, I'm going to wait. Not so fast. Because if the rate drops down into that magic number, it's going to be too late for you to respond quick enough before there's 10 offers on the next property that you thought you were going to get undervalued. And the next thing you know, it's getting jacked up for $50,000 over list. That's the rub in the real estate market. You can't time real estate. There's only time in real estate.
That's actually a really cool phrase. And I like the idea that if you think about rates dropping, and you think about prices dropping, what happens on a property that's, quote, under market? People are coming after it, right? And so now you're in competition. What happens when you're in competition? Price goes up. So that's the resistance that's keeping things where they are.
That's it, gang. And that's why you can always count on your friends down the corner of Adams and 36 to take all this craziness going out there and have it make sense to you. So looking forward to helping you in anything you might be looking forward to this year. Till then.